Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shades 2, baby. She back again. Mic hot, crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I let gang, and back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line and somebody hurt. Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like. One mic, one queen. Late night with Shay. On Shay's tube, she back again.
It's late night with Shay.
Yeah, she say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Shay's Tube. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. This is Shay's Tube Late Night Owls Talk Time, and it is June the 30th, 2025, 11:01 p.m. out here on the West Coast, you guys. I don't know why I was thinking it was 12 o'clock in the morning out here. It's still kind of early out here on the West Coast. I know out there where you're at, it's not early, but here it is and stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys had a great weekend and a great Monday. I definitely did. Did y'all hear about Diddy's trial, his deliberation today, all the stuff that happened with the juror and everything? I know y'all heard all about it, so we are going to be recapping that. And then I have two missing. One is a missing kid, and the other one is a missing lady story that I want to tell you guys about, and any other breaking news that we can get in this hour and a half. All right, so go get you something to eat, something to drink, and relax and seat. If you are at work, you shouldn't be even eating this late. And I don't even know why I said that. But anyway, if you are at work, continue to do your job or listen or watch me on the down low. And let's go ahead and get ready to start this live off. But first, let me ask you guys to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed this content. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below. And also hit that bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. And thank you guys so much. Let's go ahead and do this copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. That entire copyright disclaimer is in my description area. Part of it is scrolling across the screen, and it will be in my comment section ASAP. All right. Welcome to everybody in the bushes. Welcome to everybody who watched this in the replay. And over here in the chat, welcome to Jermaine. What's up? What's up? Jermaine just repeated everything I just said, but he also added you can support DIA Super Chat, Super Stickers, Cash App at $Shades2, or membership for $4.99 per month. And he always tells you guys we appreciate the real ones, and that's on everything. All right. Thank you, Jermaine. All right, guys. So, like I said, we are going to be recapping Diddy's Deliberation ordeal today. All right. Juror 25 could not understand. I got to put the N in there, the judge instructions. So that was a hot ass mess. We're going to talk about that as well. When I be typing in my car at the light, I mean, sometimes I don't put all of the letters in, so I had to change that real quick. Okay, so hopefully that did change. Okay, let's do that. Let's take that off of there. All right, so first thing first, let's go ahead and do that recap of Diddy's trial today, and talk about juror number 25 as well. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to change this banner. Y'all, the trial is almost over, man. Can y'all believe that? It is almost done. Okay. So here's an overview of everything real quick. Okay, my glasses are so dirty. Hold on for 1 second, you guys. Let me clean my glasses out real quick. And while I clean them out, let's just go ahead and hear this little song real quick while I clean my glasses out. Okay, just hold on for a second. Let me put this on real quick. We can listen to this. Bring back some memories.
It's real clear now. Yeah, Micah say I'm the dog, but you bark for clout. Tail wagging on live, just running your mouth. I don't know nothing, yeah, that much true. Brain offline every time you hit new. Trying to act slick, but you goofy as hell. Got slogans on loop like a broken spell. Repetitive content, you say it with pride. But bro, no bark, no bite, just hide. You the dog, more like the flea. Jump on trends, then beg for a seat. I don't know nothing, clearly, bruh. That's your whole brand and your whole shtick, huh? Dog with a mic, but no real sound. Loud online, but quiet when found. Your subs just scroll, your views decay. Whole channel look like a throwaway. Micah in the vids like, look at me cook. But it's burnt ass takes and recycled hooks. Trying to be funny, but it's awkward and dry. That dog act tired, go lay down and cry. You make 10 vids off one small clip. Stretch nothing for minutes, man, that ain't it. You say I'm the dog, yeah, mud on a leash. Pacing in circles, praying for peace. I don't know nothing, facts that's deep. Every upload feels like a low effort leap. Clickbait king with no real throne. Live stream talk but dead when alone. Merch weak, bars weaker. Talk like a beast, but your ego cheaper. Say less, post less, do more, doubt it. Micah, we laugh, now we clowning around it. So keep barking, dog, but this ain't your yard. You bit off more than your weak rep can guard. Next time you stream, say it with your chest. I don't know nothing, yeah, we guessed. Game over. Yeah, we guessed. Yeah. Micah in the vids. New bird, little bird, then you're weaker. You next time you stream, say it with your chest. I don't know nothing. Yeah, we guessed. Game over. Yeah. on trends, then beg for a seat. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Clearly, bro, that's your whole brand and your whole shtick. Dog with a mic, but no real sound. Loud online, but quiet when found. Your subs just scroll, your views decay. Whole channel look like a throwaway. Mike got in the live. Yeah. Look, grind your grind and your weak rap. Yeah. Next time you stream, say it with your chest. I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing.
Yeah, we guessed.
We guessed. I'm the dog. All right, y'all. Now I am back to go ahead and give y'all that recap. I had to clean these little glasses out, but they'd be so oily or something. I don't know what be going on with my glasses. All right. But yeah, that was a little tune that I wanted to play for you guys. You know, anyway, a recap of the Diddy trial for today. All right, so today was in deliberations. Tomorrow it will be too. The jury did receive their instructions from Judge Submaranian, and then they started deliberating. Okay, they deliberated 5 criminal counts against Combs, which are racketeering, conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in the P word. The jury, composed of 8 men and 4 women, will decide Combs' fate after hearing closing arguments from both the prosecution and defense, which that is all concluded, and now they are into their deliberations. Okay, so here is a recap of some key developments. Okay, let me go ahead and turn this down a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Turn it all the way down. We can turn it down to like a probably 12 or 13. And let me go ahead and change this. You know, welcome to everybody in the bushes, everybody who watches this in the replay. And over here in the chat, we got Jermaine in the place to be. And also, let's see, Paul Yo Bunyan is over here. What's up? How you doing? How was your weekend? And how was your Monday? You said P. Cassie crying her eyes out for P. Diddy, her hotel nights, buddy. I know you are silly, but it's the truth. Anyway, like I said, here is a recap of key developments. Okay, the defense closing arguments, led by Mark Agnafilo, acknowledged the domestic violence allegations against Combs, but characterized his relationship with Cassie as a great modern love story. They argued the prosecution failed to prove the racketeering charge. And as we do know, 50 Cent has some words regarding the defense closing arguments. He was like, it's basically trash. All right. You know, he said he could have did better. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Judge Submaranian provided some jury instructions. All right. He provided instructions on the law and the specific charges against Combs. And like I said, the deliberations have started. All right. After they received their instruction from Judge Submaranian, with no verdict reached on this first day, which is Monday. Now, here are the potential penalties. If Sean Diddy Combs is convicted, he faces a potential life sentence on the racketeering charge, a minimum of 15 years for sex trafficking, and up to 10 years for transportation to engage in the P word. All right. Okay, here are some past incidents. During the trial, testimony emerged about an alleged incident where Combs was seen on video physically assaulting Cassie in a hotel hallway. All right, so that's just some of that things. And then, you know, obviously, you know, one of the jurors was dismissed because he didn't know exactly where he lived. All right, so they felt like if he couldn't be truthful about that, he may not be truthful when it comes to making a decision if Sean Diddy Combs is guilty or not guilty. Then we have this juror number 25 today, who appears to not understand some of the judge's instructions. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail. Let me see what else happened today in court. Do y'all have anything to say about what I just told you about so far? Okay, so anyway, the judge did tell the jury, to continue deliberating after concerns over juror number 25. So let's see here. Like I said, I guess another juror must have handed a note to the judge or whatever the case is, telling him that this juror cannot follow your Honor's instructions. I don't know who they handed that note to, maybe somebody in court, I don't know for sure. But they did say we have a juror, number 25, who we are concerned cannot follow your Honor's instructions. So this note came from the jury's foreman, and that foreman is the person that's in charge, okay? So this note was also viewed by the prosecutors, the defense attorneys, and Diddy after all parties returned to the courtroom. And then Judge Submaranian said, I remind every juror of their duty to deliberate in their obligation to follow my instruction on the law. And he wrote that in a response to the jury after receiving the note. And then he instructed the jurors to please continue deliberating. All right. And that's according to a copy viewed by CNN. It's definitely a clown show. You got that right. So at about 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the jury returned with another note to the judge, which Submaranian said he would address when the jury reconvened tomorrow morning at 9. See, I didn't know he got two notes. I knew he had the one. So they gave him another note, and it's probably still about that same juror because he just does not understand, I guess some of the instructions, period. Now, we are all wondering if this could impact the prosecution. So a trial and appellate lawyer, Mark Zadier, and partner at Dorf, Nelson and Zardner LLP, told Forbes it was fairly common for jurors to ask questions about jury instructions, and Submaranian's response to the jury was expected. Judges are reluctant to provide their own explanations of what a jury instruction means beyond the actual words of the instructions. Because if there is a conviction and on appeal, the appellate court finds that the interpretation of the instruction given by the judge was wrong, it could be ground for overturning the conviction. That can be very frustrating to jurors, but to be safe, a judge will often simply repeat the instructions. He noted that this incident could blow over if the jury moves on without requesting more intervention from the judge. I think whether this is a problem remains to be seen. If this is the end of it, and there are no more attempts to bring the judge into this situation that's being complained of, we will never know any more about it. Judges are not quick to inquire what's going on in a jury room unless they have no choice. Zardner also cautioned trial observers not to read too much into notes from the jury. We really don't know what's being talked about in the jury room, nor do we have any clear picture of the dynamics that are guiding the jurors discussions. And that's according to this trial and appellate lawyer, Mark Zadier. All right. So he said basically don't worry about anything right now. But hopefully the jury will ask for further instructions, which they did hand the judge another note today at 5 p.m. And he said that he will take care of that tomorrow morning. Okay. So it seems like they're following, everything that they're supposed to follow. So we will see how that all pans out. Okay. So let's see what else we got for this trial. What is going on? So let's see what else we got here. So let's see about a little bit more information about juror number 25. So let's see here. So this juror number 25, they actually handed a note to the judge less than an hour after they started with their deliberations. But what I'm trying to figure out is why, because this dude has a strong European accent. Okay, so if he cannot understand the judge instructions, why did they wait to go back to the room to deliberate? Why wasn't that told to the judge immediately once they saw it? Why did it take, well, they did say less than an hour, so I guess that's not really too long. But you would think that they would make sure that everyone that's on the jury stand can comprehend the information that, will be given to them. It's weird. You said, right, why wasn't that not known before, right? So the jury had a question about the, what distribution. They asked, is it still, that's what I'm talking about. Where did they get these people from? Because what we did here? We looked up this the other day. And I told you guys that even if he wasn't like giving out, like you sell, the candy and things like that, that's automatically that charge. But also if you just buy for yourself, you just give people some, that's still distribution. So what I'm trying to figure out is why is this hard to understand? All right. Because I sat up here and I read this to you guys and I understood it. You guys understood it. Just like with the X trafficking. We sat here, we went over X trafficking to see exactly what it is, because we were all thinking that the only way you can be charged with X trafficking if you bring somebody from another state or country or something like that. And that's just not true. The person can be in the same daggone city and state. They can be down the street. You know what I'm saying? It's still X trafficking. If you're bringing them to you for the purpose of, X, pay X and things like that, or, however they word it. So, I'm just trying to figure out why can't these people understand what the candy distribution is? They mad he don't agree. Who don't agree? Oh yeah, he doesn't probably agree with them. Honestly, he's probably right. You're right, Payo. He's probably disagreeing with the charges, especially that candy distribution. He probably don't see it as distribution. But if you look up that definition, the legal definition of it, you will see that it means too, even if you are just giving people some of the candy that you got and you're just giving it out. It's crazy. What's up, Tony Bears? What's going on? Happy and blessed Tuesday. Well, it's still Monday here, but it's Tuesday where you're at. So happy and blessed Tuesday. And I hope you're having a good night at work. So like I said, we looked up all this and we know exactly what everything is. We know what X trafficking is. We know what the D distribution is, because I wanted to know. Because see, at first I was like, he didn't do that. He's not a candy seller, but you don't have to be a candy seller. I know that it sure is, and you're right about that. Okay, so that's crazy. I just don't understand why they didn't know that this juror number 25 couldn't understand things. You know, and like Bunyan said, they may be just like, you know, because he's not agreeing with them. All of them are probably saying guilty, and he might be saying not guilty. Or, you know, he's saying, you know, you could tell that's what he wants to say because the way he's asking about things, which is, you know. So let's see what else we got here. It's like who we believe cannot follow your instructions. So they did say Diddy is reportedly confident, in good spirits, and all. You know, so that actually contradicts what somebody else said, that he was mad today. So I don't know. I mean, because they're reporting here that he was in good spirits, he was interacting with his family and everything. So I didn't know if jurors want to stay late, they can actually stay late. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I didn't know they can stay overtime if they wanted to. So that's true. So they can stay over late to make sure this case is wrapped up by the 4th of July. So let's see what you're saying. Why wouldn't you understand? It's easy to understand. We went over these definitions. Right, he has to follow the instructions. You say he can't just base it off how he feels. No, when I say how he feels, you're right. He has to look at what the law says. Because I'm not gonna lie, first, until Jermaine pointed it out, I was just thinking about how I felt. And then that's why that day he kind of pretty much caught me on right there and then, because I was like saying that I forgot what it was about. It was about something, one of those charges. Excuse me, and I was saying that I didn't see it. But when Jermaine told me to look up the Mann Act, I could not deny what that act said. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was dealing with the trafficking. Yeah. And I looked up the definitions and everything, and I was like, damn. You know, so he definitely can't be basing anything off of what he feels. Okay, he has to look at the law. Okay, but you also have to look at if there's actual proof. You know, not hearsay, not what people think, but if there's actual proof that this person did certain things. So let's see what else we got here. People are going, let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. It's basically, let's see what else. Did I miss anything today? Let's see what else here. Where is what? You said I agree, but the law is the law. You said these charges are weak. You said Tony Bann's fact. You said I agree, but the law is the law. And where is it? Right, the proof. That's what I'm trying to figure out. All this proof and everything. You know, let's see here what we got going on here. Hold on, let me see what they got. Okay. So yeah, the jury question concerns the distribution of controlled substance, okay? In a note to the judge, the jurors asked that if a person asks for controlled substance and another person give it to the requester, is the person who hands over the controlled substance considered to be distributing them? And you know what? I actually think they are, okay? Because when you look at that definition of it, it actually breaks it down. Let me show y'all in a minute. Hold on. So anyway, when they sent that note to the judge asked prosecutors and defense attorneys to meet and confer about how to respond to the jury's questions, and let him know by 6 p.m. tonight if they can reach an agreement. So the judge said he wants to have a response ready for the jury in the morning, but they will hammer out any issues in the morning if necessary. All right. So again, let me just tell y'all what that candy distribution is real quick. Let me show y'all. Hold on, let me look it up again. Oh, God. It's broken down simple so you can break it down to the least common denominator. Let's see. What is it called? Okay. I forgot, how did I see, look at that. See, this is why he's gonna he may get charged with that, because it said candy distribution refers to the illegal act of selling, transporting, or transferring controlled substance to another person. Okay, and it's not limited to sales. It says while selling candy is a form of distribution, it can also include, listen carefully, sharing, delivering, or simply transferring possession to another person, even without monetary exchange. So when you look at that definition, I don't understand why they don't understand that. If it's proof that he gave anybody candy, then there you go with the candy distribution charge. But at the same time, you have to have intent to distribute, okay? A crucial element is demonstrating that the person intended to distribute the candy rather than possessing them solely for personal use. So they have to show intent that Sean Diddy Combs intended to give that candy to other people. And I hate to say it, but if people were, well, I remember one text message. I thought I read that somebody was asking him about candy. And of course, he told people to get him candy. But I hope that I didn't, because if I did, then that shows that he had intent to give that candy out to other people. Okay. And then if he did, and they got proof of that, which I think they do, then that will be that charge. All right. So here is some evidence of intent. So prosecutors usually use circumstantial evidence to prove intent, such as the quantity of the candy involved, the presence of candy like paraphernalia, I guess this is how you say that. Large sums of cash, text messages, or other communications suggesting distribution. And Combs messed up, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe he had text messages talking about candy and giving candy out to other people. Now, do y'all remember that? I don't think you have to have a video of him doing that. Let's look at this real quick. You say you're not trying to hear nothing from those feds. I know that's right. So during a raid on his Miami property in 2024, agents discovered over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and Astro Glide. And that's not no, okay, yeah, this right here is right here. But did they have any type of proof that he was giving it out to other people? Yep, that's it right there. He passed it out at the freak-offs. That's right. He passed it off. And plus there are text messages where he's talking about getting him some candy and also getting candy for the people at the hotel, because remember, he had a message saying this right here. Make sure that Candy is in the hotel along with some other stuff in his little snacks he liked. So he had that all there. Okay, so that's that proof right there. That's that proof. And they don't really need no videos of him doing that, because they already got him talking about this stuff in the daggone text messages. Listen, it says right here, evidence of intent can be in a text message or other communications suggesting, that you're giving out candy. Because remember, you can share it. Of course, you can sell it. Then you can share it. You can transfer it or deliver it. Okay? So now y'all know when y'all be smoking that weed and stuff, you can't be giving weed to other people, because if the Fed's watching you, they're going to have a charge like that on you guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They proved it many times in text messages. I sat right up here and read it. Right. That's crazy. Okay. So let's see what else. So if he gets charged with that, the distribution carries a more serious sentence, okay? So I forget how many years they say he can get. 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But yeah. Let me see if they're telling me here. They don't say here, but I think they said 10 years for that. If I'm not up to 10 years or 10 years minimum. Can't remember what they said. But you can get probation and things like that. I doubt you get it with the feds, though, but I don't know. You can get a lengthy prison sentence. That's what they're looking for with him. Because remember, they offered him a plea deal, and he did not, do that plea deal. All right? So we just looked that up. So we know that he did show proof of that just in the text messages alone. All right? In the text messages. As a matter of fact, I probably can type them in to see which one said it. Hold on for a minute. Okay, let's see. Oh, God, my nose is itching. Well, let's see if we can bring it up. Yeah, see, text message that discuss that candy, okay? Forget about the people talking about it. He has text messages where he's discussing that candy, going to getting that candy for him and then giving that candy out to people at those parties, okay? Especially Academy and the other one. Here to see instructions for male escorts. Let's see here. That was stupid. You don't put nothing in text messages. All right? Nothing illegal in a text message or talk about it over the phone. That's stupid. I don't know what was wrong with him because, certain things he should have been discussing. Period. I do not know. Some people said 15 years. I'm not sure. Let's see this right quick. Oh, let me just see. Hold on. Hold on, y'all, for a second. See, he messed up because he got so much stuff in these text messages that is plainly crazy. I don't understand why he put all this stuff in text messages. I don't know. This is crazy. I mean, he thought he was being slick though, because he did say just party, instead of saying freak offs at times, and he did use codes. But I mean, some things you can pretty much tell what he's talking about, you know, because the other things he said inside those text messages was just crazy. That's crazy, man. I can't find those text messages right now, but it's a lot of them. I read them off to you guys. Okay, I really did. So it was a lot. Let's see what they say right here. See, Paul, and then we talk about these witnesses and stuff. They are alleging that they picked up, candy for Diddy. But like I said, that's kind of hearsay. But the real proof is in those damn text messages, because he's basically talking about that candy. Now, if he would have just left it at he's taking it himself and not giving it out to anyone, then I mean they could still charge him, but I don't know if they would have for sure if he's not giving it to nobody else. He's just taking it himself. But he was giving it to other people. Whether they ask for it or not, you can't be giving people drugs, you guys. Okay, you can't be giving people drugs. Whether they ask for it or not. Tell them to go get their own stuff. Sure is. Shit, he already what, 55, 56? So yeah. I don't know, these people are crazy. Why would you be texting stuff in text messages? I mean, even when you delete these messages, even if you call yourself cleaning out stuff, they can still get those messages. I'm telling you, you really can. Let me tell you something. Some years ago, I had a friend who called himself deleting his messages. So I went through the computer, right? And I forgot exactly what I did because this is a while ago. And I found every single message. They was like in bits and pieces, but I could sit there and I actually sat there and pieced them together. All right. And was able to basically read all of those messages. Not every single message, but the ones that were there, I was able to read it to find out whatever I needed to find out. So if I can do that, getting there going well, the feds can do it. All right, point blank. So all that, if I was people, I just wouldn't put anything in text messages that can incriminate you, or say it over the phone or online, or just not anyway. Just keep that shit to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because people, man, will definitely tell on your ass. Put it like that. And then they can always go and get those messages, go through the phone companies and all types of stuff. Yeah. Diddy destroyed himself, though, in all fairness, because Diddy should have been paid Cassie off a long time ago. He should have got on his, see, he did it wrong anyway. What Diddy should have done a long time ago, Diddy should have went in front of Cassie first, okay? And he should have got down on his knees and told Cassie that he apologized from the bottom of his heart. I really apologize. And then if she was asking for a lump sum of money, I know you're laughing, he should have gave her that $30 million when she was asking for it originally, okay? Okay, allegedly. That's what they claim. And then he could have went again and apologized to her husband, because you got to listen. You got to keep her husband under control too. So this is what he should have did. He should have apologized to Cassie first, got on his knees, told her he's sorry and things like that. Then he should have said, well, let's get your husband together, and then, we can all have a meeting. He should have did that meeting with her husband again. He should have said, I'm sorry again to Cassie. He should have apologized to Alex for whatever. And then he should have gave Cassie $30 million right then and there. And made her promise that she wouldn't even bring this up again or anything like that. Period. Have her sign something to say, Sean Diddy Combs did not do anything to me. I was whatever. However, he would have had to get that written up so she can't come back. And she probably wouldn't even be trying to do this stuff that she's doing now. If he would have did it from the get-go when she first asked about money, and he would have got on his knees and apologized to her, and things like that, and then did it again with her husband there. Sometimes you have to do that. to get people to calm down. You know what I'm saying? Y'all laughing, right? At the end of the day, Cassie is a victim. Diddy destroyed her. I think, honestly, Tony, I think that they both did things to one another. Now, I do think that Diddy did a lot more, okay, because clearly he was beating the shit out of her, and I do believe that when she did not want to engage in those freak offs, he probably was, making her do it anyway. And if she didn't do it, I'm pretty sure he probably was, hitting her. I don't know for sure. I mean, but I'm just thinking he probably did, but I don't know 100% for sure. Okay. And I'm just going off the point, of how men, and women who do domestic violence, how they usually do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I think they destroyed each other's lives, but I do think that Diddy definitely did more destroying than Cassie did. But also remember this too. When she met this dude, I know she wanted to be in the industry, he was promising her stuff. But like in the beginning when he started acting crazy, that would have been her time to get away from that dude. Point blank. Okay? Because again, he had rumors about him for the longest. See, me personally, the rumors about Tupac would have stopped me from not even talk to him. Because I'm like, damn, did he actually do it? So I mean, I can't be around somebody and they're talking about he's responsible for unaliving, Tupac. I can't be talking to this person. Right, Diddy should apologize to Cassie, then ask if she needed him to hop their bed with the husband on their honeymoon. You are so silly. I think he just should have, apologized to Cassie, like I said, and then apologized to both of them and stuff. Because Alex probably knew some things that was going on because he was there. Remember, Diddy is the one who hired that dude as a personal trainer or something like that. So I'm pretty sure he knew, certain things. He may not have known everything, but he probably seen some things. No, I think she was a little freaky too. Okay, let's keep it real. All right. I think she was a little freaky too. She even said that she did things because, she wanted to please Diddy. And she wanted, a marriage and a child and things like that. And Diddy didn't want that. Diddy just wanted to be a freakazoid. And that's why she said she started, thinking that she was nothing but basically a call girl for him, an escort, because shit, he wasn't doing anything else that she wanted him to do. Like, let's get married, let's be a little bit more serious, let's be exclusive, let's have a child. He didn't want to do none of that. Y'all remember that rumor was going around years ago? And that's why Cassie was tripping out and stuff. But yeah, I do think he destroyed her. He did some things to her more than what she could have done to him. But I do think she was a little freaky herself. Because let me tell you something. If I would have met Diddy and he talking about some damn orgy, there would have been immediate grounds of termination. I don't give a damn about how much money he deal with me, because I'm not about to be up here doing the orgies with all these different people. You are not going to pee in my mouth or anything else. Please, if anything's going to be the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Because no, so I'm not, hell no. And, anyway, he wouldn't be telling me what to do. If anything, I'm going to be telling him, let me stop. I'm going to be giving those damn commands. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. No way. There's no way. So like I said, when she first met him, I mean, I bet you it was all fairy tale at first, but I'm pretty sure he let some of the realness come out. And so when you saw that realness, that's when it's time for you to bounce up out of here. And whatever you got from him, hey, at least you got something. You know what I'm saying? Because he was giving her a lot of things. So just like Jane, I don't understand why these people stay around like that when they know this person is doing all this weird shit. If you having extra-thons all damn night and day for 4 days at a time, to the point where you have to be given an IV and all this other stuff, I would have been gone. I'm sorry. And when never came back, and he could threat all he wants to, as long as he don't come by me or send somebody by me. Because I would have bought myself a GUN, got myself a couple of security guards, armed or something, bodyguards, and we would have lit his ass up, okay, on everything if he would have came by me. And plus, I would have moved away from him. Out of New York, away from him. Not to LA, nowhere like that. And lay low. Because the thing is that I know it's hard to do that when someone is giving you all this money, fame, helping your music career. But you got to do what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? If you say you are tired of having freak offs, your pelvic hurts, you're catching UTIs and STDs, what the hell? There's no way I would be there. I'm going to just be perfectly honest. This is too much. And something was clearly, if he was doing all these things, okay, which, they got evidence or whatever the case is. But the thing about it, if somebody is doing all these weird things like him, I would honestly think this dude has got some mental things going on with him. You know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't do it because he's doing too much. I mean, listen, some people are freaky. Okay, let's keep it real. Y'all know this. And they do like variety. They like to have threesomes, and maybe foursomes and switch partners and everything. But if you meet someone, if they are game for that, without having all the other added weirdness to it, then that's on you. But you cannot make people partake in sexual intercourse for hours and hours and hours and days at a time, and then make them do stuff for other people and things like that unless they want to. And honestly, like I just said before, if a dude I'm dating, he is doing all of this, and then he's watching me do something with the escorts, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm going to think something is wrong with the dude, and I'm going to have to get away from him because that's very weird. You know what I'm saying? The hell, why would any dude want to watch his woman do something with some other dude or dudes? That clearly shows you he does not give a damn about you. Okay? And then he over here doing the M thing. I would think something is absolutely wrong with him. I'm serious. And then some of the male men said, the dude said he raped them. He would be eliminated anyway because I can't do it with the down low stuff. So he would be history anyway. Okay? Because I can't do that. That's just plainly crazy. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff, he going on doing and stuff like that. If he actually did it, it's just weird. And so I think something is going on with him because this is abnormal for people to be sitting up here having X that much. Is he a nympho? Because damn, every day, not every day, but the times when he get into those freak offs, it would be like hours and hours and for a couple of days. And damn, don't you get tired of putting your hand there and you doing the M thing? Damn, did the skin rub off? I guess that's why he was using the stuff, But didn't your skin start coming off, or it got a rash or inflamed? Even with the Astroglide, I guess, even when you use that, it's still, if you're doing this constant up and down motion, you would think that area would get inflamed. Okay, then he would really have to apply, some type of lubricant on there continuously, because after you do it so many times, it's going to dry out, right? And then you got to put more on there, and things like that. That alone right there is grounds for me to terminate the relationship because something is wrong with your ass, all right? That's on everything. And then you up here asking somebody that have entanglements with all these different men. I don't give a damn how much money you giving out. Please. I don't know. I mean, but the thing is, we don't know what else he engages in or who he may be connected to. See, Jermaine brought that to my attention because I was like, it would be hard for me to be scared of Diddy. Okay, for real, because it's nothing that a GUN can't handle. You know what I'm saying? But then Jermaine was like, okay, so he could be, dealing with people higher up that really got, some power and things like that. You got all these different people coming from you from different ways. That could make somebody scared. Don't tell them, especially if they are, being filthy rich. Okay, so they got a lot of power to do a lot of things. They can keep you from working anywhere, all types of stuff. So it just depends. I don't know, if he's connected to something higher or what. But if he is, then I can see why so many people, including men, were afraid of this dude. Because I'm like, damn, why are these men afraid of this dude? Because honestly, if I was a dude and I was standing there, he was fighting Cassie, I would have had to intervene. You know what I'm saying? Probably so. Yeah. Hey, James, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I rash. Doing all that stuff, you know, with the hand and stuff like that. It's crazy, man. You're doing it continuously and shit for 4 days and stuff, off and on. Then you got to do an IV and you got to do this, you got to do that. Then you got doing stuff with people and they misses or whatever, I guess. And blood was found in the hotel room. So either they were on the misses or either they was having so much, you know what, then it was bleeding, especially if they catch like a UTI or STD. Certain STDs, if you keep on having, you know what, it can make you bleed. So no telling, all these damn diseases running around and stuff. You know what, it makes me want to itch just thinking about it. You know, then they sucking on each other. You got me messed up if you think I'm get rid of it. Well, if you don't get your ass out of my face, that's what I would have told him. Period. That's crazy. You say you always had a strong fight response. Eventually, you would find your way out. The thing is, everybody need to get it. Because let me tell you something. If you don't know how to fight, I feel sorry for you. Point blank. Because then people will, you know, basically be taking advantage and doing the most. Stop hissing if I hiss you. Stop. How you gonna be close to somebody that start hissing? Sable, you better stop hissing. Wow. Sable, they know good and damn well I'm not a cat. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's St. Lawrence she was hissing at? I thought Mercedes was over there too. Oh, let's say they look alike from a far distance. Oh, okay, that was St. Lawrence. He did talk to her. She started hissing. Let me do this again to her. Listen, you guys, listen. Wow, that ain't no hiss, is it? Listen. Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but you know, people need to get it up because I'm telling you, when you got that fight response, I'm telling you, you can get yourself out of some situations at times. You know what I'm saying? You can't be scared. You know, it's like that time when them dogs was about to tear our asses up. If I did not have that fight response, them dogs would have tore us up. It was like 2 of them. Okay, he had me, my daughter, and my son. My son had hid. He ran and hid. The dog didn't see him at first. And those dogs, man, I was scared, but I played it off and I kept them dogs off of us. Then all of a sudden, my son jumps from his hiding space and come out. And that dog turned around for me and he ran after my son. And that's when I ran after that dog and told him to get his ass back, though I'm going to F him up. And that dog turned around and started barking at me, and my son was able to get away and hide again. All right. And I got him though after that. So when you're hiding from something, I don't give a damn if they are getting me and your sister. You stay hiding until the police get there. Okay. I mean, for real. And he could have actually, when he was hiding, yeah, he could have just stayed still because that's like a field. And if the dog would have heard a move or anything, then he probably would have followed her. But I got the dog back on me. And the other dog was still on my daughter, but I just told her to stand still. But I kept both of them dogs off of us. You know what I'm saying? So that was that fight response. So sometimes it's good to have that. I think it's good all the time. You just have to know when to use it and when not to use it. You know what I'm saying? But I do think it's good, to have that. And because if I didn't have that, shit, them dogs would have mauled us to the unalive. And he definitely would have got my son. My son was only like 7 years old then, I believe, or 8 or somewhere around that age. Yeah, because this was back in 2000 and let me think. This was back in 2018, I believe. Yeah, he was like 9 or somewhere around that age and stuff. But yeah, that was a damn trip. So having that fight response is a good thing to have. Okay, you just have to know when to use it. You said shout out to all the suckers under people's feet. I know that's right. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, with this all this freak off shit, you know, putting IVs in people and shit, all this other weird shit. Just very weird. There's no way I could have stayed in that relationship. It's very strange. You know what I'm saying? Then plus you got some mental issues going on because you have to. Anybody, listen, you can take a person who likes to be in entanglements all the damn time, like every day, at least every day, and they still won't match up with this dude because this dude, from what we read, he can like do freak offs for days at a time, which is crazy. And then he's watching this shit and then doing the M thing. I think that they did consent to some, but the times they did not consent, that's what they're talking about. So, but we don't know for sure. But I guess you can't listen when you read some of the text messages from Cassie, where Cassie said, "When I tell you to stop, you're supposed to stop." That shows right then and there that he did not listen to her. She asked him to stop, so therefore that was not consented because he kept on doing it. So that's what I think the prosecution is looking at, those type of messages that were there. Even though in that same message, let me think what Sean replied back. I don't know what Sean replied back. I can't remember because it also depends on what he said back as well. Okay? Because he could have just said, I did stop. So what are you talking about? See what I'm saying? Because she does not have like any real physical proof. It's just like she does in a text message, but it does not, unless he responded back in a way where you can tell that he did do something to her against her asking or telling him to do it. That's the only way we will be able to tell that, he did something without having her consent. Like I said, it depends on how he replied back. This little cat right here is a trip, y'all. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. And so, some people are saying that if Sean Diddy Combs is found guilty, they think that he's going to do some. No. They said if he gets out, he's going to do revenge on the people who try to put him in prison. But I say either way, he can do that. Okay, if he's convicted, all of these people definitely better be looking out. Okay, I told y'all before that Big Homie said he already received threats. Also, I think her name is Aubrey O'Day. She was like, she feels like Diddy would, basically retaliate if he is found innocent. All right. But I'm thinking though, if he's found guilty, he could do the same thing because it's not hard to set things up. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you know that you were going to get arrested. You can easily set something up and just tell whomever you tell that if I'm convicted, then everybody who talk, get them. Yeah, sue him, but I'm talking about something else now. You know what I'm saying? That's what Arby is talking about. And this dude, what's his name? I forgot his name already, the one I was just talking about. I told you all about him the other day. These people talking all this stuff and sending this dude birthday messages and stuff, and that's what Jane did. No. That was Maya who did that. It's completely crazy, you guys. Crazy. Let's see what else we got going on here with Diddy. What are y'all doing? What's going on? What these people doing here? This cat in here pretty good too. So I think that's it with that wrap up of Diddy's case, because I don't see anything else I think I covered everything. What time is it? Yeah, I think I covered everything. Y'all got any questions or anything y'all want to add to, Diddy's situation going on? Let me ask you guys again. Do you think he will be found guilty or not guilty? Wow. Mess with this cat. He doesn't. He claimed he does. The bodyguard, yeah. We're talking about Big Homie, the bodyguard. I just deleted it. They're going story, but yeah, I'm talking about his ex bodyguard. You said guilty, Jermaine? Okay. I say hung jury. Because all this weirdness going on in this courtroom is crazy. Because I don't believe that dudes still understand, have a good understanding of the instructions or anything. But they could, Tony Vance said guilty too. They could get an alternate, but then that will just delay the trial. And I know they don't really want to, take that route if they don't have to. So the other letter he got, the note he got, the judge, he's going to go over that in the morning. You said he's lying. Diddy never met him? Wow. What's in my head, Tony Vance? Are you talking about the hung jury thing? I don't know. Because, they're doing a lot of crazy stuff. Hold on for 1 second, y'all. You just never know how this stuff is going to play out, okay? You really just don't really know. Oh, okay. But if he is found guilty, this just will open up the door for them to do other people the same exact way. When other people don't even get charged for doing the same exact thing. Especially the ex trafficking with getting women from other areas or other states, countries, and bringing them out to you to have X. Okay. You said Diddy is going to get off the appeals court, is going to toss the case out. Yeah, it could be. This could be a possibility. You just never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I'm just saying we better not be shut, just don't, just, you guys may be shocked. That's what I'm trying to say. You saw how long does he have to wait for an appeal? So let me look this up real quick before we get off of Diddy. Oh man. I don't know if to type it wrong. Let's see. Let's see what they come out with. So like they said that the jury's decision will depend on their assessment of the evidence and their understanding of the complex dynamics of the relationships involved. The case is complex and the outcome is uncertain. Okay, I was looking to see if they can tell me what do they think. So that's why I can't really say 100% because you just never know. You just never know how this will play out. And clearly a lot of other people have been typing in the same thing. Let's see what this man said. So this other lawyer said he thinks that Combs will be found guilty versus being acquitted. Okay. See what else he said right here. But he did say that there's plenty of room for the jury to decide either way. Okay. So we just don't know for sure. Let's see. You said it won't be longer than a year with the money he has for the appeal. And you said the money is not helping him now. You said if we traded places, Diddy would have no problem saying guilty to someone else. You got that right. That is true. The Second Circuit typically takes around a year from filing to reach a decision on federal criminal appeals. This is like the second time Diddy has been in a courtroom. He was found innocent on those other charges years ago. I think some type of GUN charges or something like that. So you just never know. You never know, you guys. You just never know. Damn, somebody gave me it. Oh, wow. All right. I didn't even know this. Look and see something real quick, y'all. Hold on. Let me look and see something. This got to be yesterday. This could be today. Look and see it. Oh, damn. Who did that today? That's a blessing. Who did that? You look and see. I only took two deliveries. Let me see. Let's see which one of them did it. Oh, that was the dude. Oh, I know who that was. That was a dude that I was just talking to. Let me think about this for a minute. That was the second guy. The one I took the alcohol. Oh, I know who that is. The one who gave me the water. That was so sweet. He is a sweetie pie. Damn. Jermaine, I always be getting those big ass tips, man. I'm telling you, always. Jermaine, it's the dude. You know, the one I was just talking to with the dogs and stuff. And the little dog and the little girl. And he gave me the water. That was great. I didn't even know that. Let me tell him thank you. That was really sweet. Yes, that was. All right. That was surprising and a blessing. You say it's usually 6 months to a year. Okay. But anyway, like I said, tomorrow we're going to be waiting to see what the judge is going to say about the other note. And I wonder what the defense team is saying and what are they trying to do next, because this is just crazy. And I wonder what the jurors are thinking right now. I still think juror number 25 is probably leaning toward not guilty. And they probably know this, but I don't know. All right. So anyway, we're going to move away from Diddy right now, you guys. Okay. And I want to tell you guys about this other little story real quick. Well, let me take this down. First thing first, let me tell you about these missing kids. I hope I didn't erase it by mistake. Let's see. Let's see if I hope I did not erase this. Because I did on show don't see it. Let's see. If I did. Okay, so I hope they found this little girl right here. Let me just tell y'all about this real quick, okay? Hold on, let me change the banners because I like to tell people what I'm talking about in case they don't want to hear this. They don't have to listen. But you need to want to hear because you never know. You know, when you want to, you know, you could be in the same position, you know, with your relatives or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's do this. See, like when I first started doing these lives, I used to talk about missing kids all the time. And then I took a break from it because day after day, you talk about missing kids, missing people. It started to, make you feel kind of sad just talking about this every single day, you know. But anyway, I just wanted to incorporate this back into my lives because I think it's very important, like I said before, for us to know this, and plus, you never know, you may see these kids and these people or whatever the case is. All right. So anyway, this little girl here is 14 years old. And I hope they found her because I got this story a couple of days ago. This is the little girl right here, okay? And her name is Aaliyah, okay? 14 years old. Now, this little girl is not here in the United States of America. This is over here in London. And I have people watching me all in the UK. So therefore, this is another reason why I'm talking about her, because I just don't want to cover kids and people in the United States of America. It's just whomever I see that I feel like I want to, make you guys aware of, okay? So anyway, this little girl, 14 years old, disappeared from West London last week, okay? She was reported missing from the Ladbroke Grove area on Wednesday afternoon. She was last seen at 2:35 p.m. wearing her school uniform, which includes a black blazer, a white shirt, a black skirt, and a black and pink striped tie. All right. They said because of her age and the period of time she has been away from home, they will remain very concerned for her well-being. He said, I urge anyone, including Aaliyah's friends and family, who may have seen her or have information concerning her safety and whereabouts, to please get in touch with the police as soon as possible. Here's another picture of her. And hopefully, this was a few days ago. So hopefully they have found her. So they said she has a slim build, light brown hair, and she usually wears their hair in a bun. Like she has it somewhere like that in this picture, I believe. They said that she is also known to visit the Dallas Hill area. So anyone with information can call the police on 101 or tweet at MET, METCC, quoting, which is QUOTING, CAD, which is CAD. All right. Or you can do 8071/11 June, or contact the Missing People Charity on 116000. All right. And that's over there in London. That's why you hear these numbers being called out like this. All right. So my prayers are extended out to her family and for her as well. And hopefully, like I said before, they have found her, because this is like 6 or 7 days ago, or maybe even 8 or 9. So hopefully they have found her. Again, anyone with any information in the London area, 101, you can call that number. That's the police. Or you can tweet at M as in Mary, E as in Ed, T as in Tom, C as in cup, C as in cup, quoting, which is QUOTING, then CAD, which is CA, and then D, and I guess that's 8071/11 June. Or you can contact the Missing People Charity on 116000. All right. Hopefully they do find it. Let me see if anybody said anything in the comment section. Yeah, they still haven't found it yet. Let's see. So, okay. So let me tell you about the next person. And like I said, hopefully, she's found right now, since that was some days ago. Take this off here. Okay, let's see what else we got. That was the one. Let me see if I got this other person. Okay, I don't know if I still got the other one. Yeah, I don't know what I did with the other lady. Let's see. Yeah, see, sometimes I make a mistake in erasing. But anyway, like I just said, every day, not every day, but most days, I'm gonna try to tell you guys about the missing people that comes up on my phone, because I be having like so many, excuse me, missing people articles come up on my phone and stuff. So I'll let you guys know about it, at least some of them. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure. So, do y'all remember about the lady who shot her ex-husband for abusing children at her daycare? Anyway, they arrested her at first, right? Because she shot her husband, and she shot him after confronting him. Okay, and he was a retired police officer, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, I guess she found out that he was abusing the kids at the daycare center, okay? And that's why she shot him. And then they arrested her. And she spent like 4 years incarcerated. So they finally released her from prison, okay? And so her ex-husband, he eventually was sentenced to life in prison for actually abusing a 10-year-old girl inside a daycare van. Okay, so when this lady, the wife, shot her husband for abusing kids at the daycare center, and she was arrested, her case actually went viral. And then she had a bunch of supporters all around the world, supporting her and, basically letting the justice system know that this lady was acting out of instinct to protect the children, and she should have never been incarcerated. All right. Now, they let her out. She's been transferred to a halfway house as part of her reentry. And now she is free, and she's using her platform to push for a national reckoning on how child sexual abuse is handled. And she said in a post, I guess she wrote this, she said, the one thing that I think that we need to know is that sexual abuse is not okay. A lot of times in the past, it has been covered up. And it's good that it's getting some type of notoriety to it so that we can stop it. So this is her right here, and this is her husband that she shot. Okay? And I don't know if y'all remember this. This happened, I think, in 2021 or 2022. I remember because I was reading all about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't doing lives then, but I was still doing videos. But I think this came up again on, maybe last year or somewhere around that. And then I was telling you guys about it then. So they did let her out. But that's pretty good. Let me change this right quick. But she did serve 4 years. And do y'all think that's right? Because if this woman shot her husband, she did shoot her husband. She shot her husband because he was actually abusing the kids at the daycare center. And he abused one girl in particular, a 10-year-old girl, in the daycare van. And you would look at this dude, you wouldn't even think he would do all of this. So a lot of people felt like she should have been praised, not prosecuted. You know? I don't think she should have been incarcerated at all. This man used to be a retired police officer, and he was there abusing kids at the daycare center. Okay? That's crazy. So honestly, I don't feel sorry for him getting shot. Okay, I just don't, because he got what he should have gotten. Because you can't be sitting right here abusing kids. This dude messed up whatever kids he abused. He has messed them up. Okay, because it's hard for a woman to get over being great. Can you imagine a 10-year-old and other kids? Come on now, it's grown ass, old ass man. So for me, I'm glad she's out, but I wish she would have never served any years. Okay, point blank. And then somebody said, somebody must have said she shouldn't be out of jail. And then somebody else came back and said, okay, so let your 10-year-old daughter, niece, granddaughter be in a van with him. Actually saw her and see how you respond, because you sound like a whole clown. Right, because I mean, how could you even say she should still be in jail? She shouldn't. She should have never done any time in jail. So my prayers are sending out to her and for her, and I hope she continues to, spread her messages around and continue to do good. And I'm glad her husband got life in prison, because he's a piece of shit. All right, and that's just on everything. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. We got about a couple of minutes, and that's going to be it. So let me tell y'all about Adriana Smith. This was the brain dead woman, sorry YouTube, who was kept alive for months while pregnant. Okay, they finally, let her go ahead and pass on. Okay, but the thing about it is that they kept this lady alive all that time so she can basically give birth to her child. This is her right here. Let me show you. So this lady, 31 years old, she was declared brain, in February. Then she gave birth to a son on June the 13th, before she was taken off of life support on June the 17th. So they kept her alive, from February all the way up until June. 4 months. Okay, so the baby could stay alive. But she used to be a nurse too, okay? So let's see what else they got on her. I read the whole story, so let's see. So in February, she was declared brain unalive while pregnant. Okay? She was kept alive because of Georgia's abortion ban. Why you keep playing? Hold on, y'all. Beat this boy's ass. Hold on. Okay, so like I said, she was declared brain alive while pregnant, and she was kept alive due to Georgia's ban. All right. So on June the 13th, she gave birth to a son via an emergency cesarean section. And then on June the 17th, they took her off of life support at age 31. Stop. You need to go to bed. So let me see. I don't want to guess what happened. I mean, not really guess, but try to remember because I read about what happened with her before that. So let's see here. So at about 9 weeks pregnant, she suffered multiple blood clots in her brain. Okay. And they kept her alive because of Georgia's ban on ABORTION after 6 weeks gestation. Okay. So according to their law there, no ABORTION shall be performed if the unborn child has a detectable human heartbeat, except in the event of a medical emergency or medically fetal pregnancy. So in Georgia, a medical emergency is defined as a condition in which an ABORTION is necessary in order to prevent the unaliving of the pregnant woman or the substantial and irreversible physical impairment of a major bodily function of the pregnant woman. So they did say Adriana's case was considered a legal, what are you doing? A legal gray area. And doctors reportedly told her family that because she was brain unalive and no longer considered at risk, they were legally required to maintain life support until the fetus reaches viability. And that's why they kept her alive. She also has, but she had a little son as well, okay? So they said after almost 4 months on life support, she gave birth to Chance at 4:41 a.m. local time on June the 13th. Hold on, I'm gonna get this cat. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Hold on. Damn cat. Okay. Anyway, he weighed about 1 pound, 13 ounces. And of course, they had to take him to NICU, newborn intensive care unit, okay? So they did say the baby is expected to be okay. You are getting ready. Hold up a minute. These kids, okay, y'all. Sorry about that. So let's see here. What was that happening? So the baby is still, they said the baby is expected to be okay. The mom of the daughter said the baby is just fighting. We just want prayers for him. Just keep praying for him. He's here now. He's here now. And then the mom also said she should not be burying her daughter. She said her daughter should be burying her. She said if I could say one more thing to her, I guess I would tell her that I love her and that she was a great daughter. Okay. So they did set up a GoFundMe page too that has raised 400. It has raised up to $460,000. Okay, as of Sunday. So with this mom, because I read her story, she had. Let me just go to her actual story. Okay. Let me find her actual story. Adrienne Smith. So I can give it to you guys the right way, okay? I'm trying to, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. I forgot exactly. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let me find it out. That's right. She went to the hospital, you guys, with severe headaches, right? And they sent her home at first, okay? And hold on, let me see what else they said. And the thing about it, they sent her home, and what was actually going on with her is that she was having brain bleeding. And they did not do a full neurological, I can't even say it right, neurological workup, okay, during her initial visit. So they said she went back again, and then they transferred her to Emory University Hospital, and that's where she used to work at as a nurse as well. So then they gave her a CT scan, and in that CT scan, it revealed that she had multiple blood clots in her brain. She deteriorated, and she was eventually declared brain, you know what. So then they moved her to Emory down in Midtown, and she was 9 weeks pregnant when she passed on. They said she had been on life-supporting technologies for over 90 days. So she carried that baby up to, while she was unalive, I think up to 22 weeks into her pregnancy. That's crazy. And the thing about it, though, if they would have gave her the right type of test initially, who's to say they could have saved her? Because like I just said, when she first went to the hospital, and then she was a nurse herself, she was complaining about headaches. And they did not even give her a full how do you say that, neurological workup, like you just said. And they didn't do the CT scan or anything. They did that when she went back to the doctor again. And by that time, those blood clots probably was like really, doing some damage. Man, that's crazy. That's sad because, they probably didn't check more in depth because of her age. But they're gonna have to realize they're gonna have to start giving people tests more, further tests when they come there saying they have real bad headaches. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. She had multiple blood clots in her brain. Multiple. So they was asking questions about this. They said, was her treatment adequate? Who can speak for her values and wishes? Who spoke for her as she passed on? Now, they said her mother is reported in the media as saying her daughter, once pronounced unalive, was kept on a ventilator with the doctor's plan being to keep her on life support until at least 32 weeks of gestation, and when the fetus would have a better chance of survival outside the womb. And they also said, the mother also says, she says the doctors were reportedly unable to consider any other options due to Georgia's abortion laws pertaining to pregnancy and fetal personhood. Sorry, YouTube. That's crazy. So I wonder if Adriana would have wanted to remain on a ventilator just to have her child. I wonder if she wanted to do that. And then somebody said removing a life support from a unalive body carrying a 3-month-old fetus is not in abortion. Okay. And then it was said that keeping a baby inside of the mother's womb, while the mom is on a ventilator for 6 months with a planned C-section is not therapy, but it's highly experimental. And they said there is no data on whether prolonged technology assisted incubation in a cadaver can produce a living, much less healthy baby. Well, the baby was delivered, and like I said, the baby was in NICU, probably still is until the baby gets to, its desired weight and everything else and finish developing or whatever the case is. But so far, the last I heard, the baby was doing okay. So maybe, all of this that they did, maybe in the end, well, I think it is worth it because the baby, is alive. In all fairness, anyway, too, if the lady was basically brain unalive, she doesn't really know what's going on. And she probably would have wanted to save her child, I don't know for sure because I don't know her. It's a hard question. Because, me being a parent myself, I think that I would just, want to, if they had to keep me alive on a ventilator for 4 or 5 additional months so I can deliver my baby, yes, I think I would, go ahead and do it if I had to make that choice. Yeah, I think I would want to do that. You said, but in this case, I'm sure that's probably what she would have wanted. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I think she probably would have wanted that. But I do understand what people are talking about, though, too, at the same time, because what if she didn't? You know what I'm saying? You just never know. Just never know. But I'm glad the baby is doing good. I don't know how the baby is doing at this exact time now, but when they wrote this article, the baby was doing good. And they did go ahead and bury this lady, I think maybe 2 days ago. They had a funeral for her and things like that. And she has a 5-year-old son, too. I saw a post with her 5-year-old son standing next to her on the bed, on her ventilator and stuff. And he was just crying. That's sad. Now, when you look at it from that standpoint, because I forgot about her other child, and the other child is going through all this pain and suffering, just seeing the mom laying there. I think he was telling the mom to wake up. So that part right there is really sad, and it may be, something you want to consider if you have kids and things like that, you know. But still, later on, when the baby gets older, you know, especially when the baby gets like even get out of NICU and he sees that he has a little brother or sister and that's a part of his mom. So I think I think he'll be okay in the end because then, he can say his mom left him something. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else they got here on her. But that was a big story. A lot of, they was talking about it all over the news and everything. Because they claim, they was asking the question, did her parents want her to be taken off of life support? But I don't know if they did or not. The thing about it, if they knew they have a chance of having another piece of their daughter, with another child, I don't see how they could not, want her to be kept alive so the baby can stay alive. So yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think about this story. You can look it up. Her name is Andriana Smith, the 31-year-old woman who was kept alive on a ventilator because she was pregnant. They kept her alive so she can go ahead and finish, letting her baby develop inside of her and stuff. But y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section about this. And I think that's going to be it for this live. We've been on here for 1 hour and 47 minutes. I went a couple of minutes over, but it's cool because I definitely wanted to tell you guys about that. And let me just say y'all one thing. Y'all remember I told y'all some months ago to do the T-Mobile settlement lawsuits. Okay? Well, anyway, they started handing out checks or however you wanted it. They started handing that out last week before. And last week, sometime I got my check. Okay, not a check, but they gave it to me on the MasterCard. And my daughter got one. Both of my daughters got one, and they Zelled it to their bank accounts. All right. So if you did do that class action lawsuit, make sure you be checking your email because the way they send it, I almost didn't see it because I was thinking that it was a scam. They send you an email and tell you that it depends on which one you selected, that either your MasterCard, your virtual MasterCard is here. You have to do some questions or something, so I can't remember, or click on some links. Or they will tell you that they are getting ready to Zelle a payment to your account. Okay? But they send you an email indicating this. Okay, so be looking out for that if you did do that T-Mobile class action lawsuits, because they are issuing out those checks and they can range from $50 all the way up to $25,000. All right. Anytime I tell y'all about class action lawsuits, if it applies to you, you better go ahead and do it. All right. Thank you, Jermaine, for saying you're live. Well, I want to thank Jermaine for being here, Rob for being here, Paul Bunyan for being here, Tony Vance for being here, James for being here, stopping by. And let's see what else. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. And thanks to everybody in the bushes and everybody who's watching this in the replay. And y'all, don't forget to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed this content. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe below. And hit the bell notification so you can be notified of any upcoming videos. Make sure you share and leave a comment. All right. And don't forget, if you want to show additional support for this channel, you can do a super sticker, super chat, or a membership for $4.99 per month, or you can do a cash out at $Shades2. All right. So until tomorrow, guys, when I do the recap on Diddy again, you guys have a blessed night and a good Tuesday. And I'll see you guys in my next All right, let's get out of here, y'all. Let me go change all this stuff. Hold on. Y'all make sure y'all check out my Country and Rain reaction video that I just did too. I forgot about that. Make sure y'all check that out too, okay? Y'all have a good night. All right. Let's go to mute that and put the ending song on. Good night, y'all. I did the wrong thing. My ass is always doing the wrong stuff. Hold on. It's this one right here. Good night, y'all.
Yo, turn the lights down low and the drama up. She's late, she's loud, and she live. Woo! You already know who it is. Shay's too, baby. She back again. Crowd lit, vibe on 10. Shay walk in like we back again. News, tea, jokes and spins. She don't do small talk, she go in. From the headlines to the comment section, she call names with no correction. You tuned in, don't act brand new. It's late night, baby, she got that view.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I let gang, back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. Popcorn ready, wig on alert. She dropped one line, is somebody hurt? Talk show queen with a side of roast. She run this thing from coast to coast. Late on purpose, still on time. She hit you with shade, then call it a rhyme. Talk smart, talk slick, talk flame. Say the name right, yeah, late night with Shay.
Late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again.
It's late night with Shay.
She say what she want and laughs all day. Live on Shay's tube, press replay. You thought I left, nah, I'm back again. That's right. News, drama, laughs, whatever else you feel like.